Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, a really big welcome. My name's Jenny and I mainly make lifestyle content on this channel, which pretty much means I make videos about anything and everything. Some of the topics that I talk about are things like disability, chronic illness, mental health, Disney, beauty, fashion, a bit of travel when we're allowed to travel, and pretty much everything in between. So hopefully there'll be something on this channel that you enjoy, and I hope you'll stick around to watch this video. So today's video is another Christmassy one for you because it's getting closer and I wanted to try and make a few different Christmassy content videos to get you in the Christmas spirit. And in this video I wanted to make it into a little bit of a gift guide really. I've never really done gift guides before, but I wanted this one to be a bit more specific and for it to be gifts for somebody that you might know who has a disability or chronic illness. Now, I need to start this by saying that somebody with a disability or chronic illness may not want something that is specifically tailored to their disability or chronic illness. You know, we still want other stuff. I like clothes and I like makeup and I like candles and all that kind of stuff. But if you're struggling to think of something to get and you want something that might perhaps be a little bit helpful to somebody, hopefully this gift guide might help you a bit. I do also want to say that everybody's disabilities and chronic illnesses are going to be different, so people are going to be affected in different ways. So it's really important to actually speak to the person that you're getting something for to make sure that what you're getting is going to be helpful, that they will actually be able to use it, that they don't have an allergy or an intolerance to it, or that it's not going to make them more unwell. So my biggest gift guide hack for this one would be to actually speak to the person that you're buying for, ask them what they would like. They might have a list and that would be great because you can make sure that you get stuff for them that they actually want. But if you're really struggling and you've kind of asked them and you know what sort of things that they like, hopefully there'll be something here that might be helpful for you to get them for Christmas. So I actually spoke to quite a few of my chronically ill and disabled friends for this video to ask what kind of gifts they would like to receive. So hopefully there'll be something here that will be suitable for a fair few people. And the first thing that came up was a heated blanket. A lot of people with disabilities and chronic illnesses can get very cold or struggle to maintain their temperature, myself included, and a heated blanket is just something that is useful all year round. You can get lots of different ones and I'll try and link things below to kind of give you an idea of what kind of stuff you could look for, and I'll also put pictures here so because I haven't got a lot of this stuff so you can visualize it as well. But yeah, a nice big fluffy blanket that you can plug in and that's heated, honestly is just the dream. I would love to just wrap myself up in a lovely big warm blanket. They don't necessarily have to be very expensive. It depends what kind of blanket you get, what it's made out of, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, they're just a really nice idea for somebody who perhaps struggles to maintain their temperature, struggles to stay warm and wants something nice and cozy this Christmas. I've actually got a few ideas on the whole blanket theme, so I'm going to just do them all at once. So another idea that came up was just soft blankets or throws, not heated or anything, just, you know, bog standard blankets and throws. I know for myself, I absolutely love blankets. I spend a lot of time on the sofa and I get cold, as I said, so it's nice to have a nice soft blanket, and it's also nice to have different ones that I can kind of rotate so that, you know, if you're on the sofa and you're not necessarily able to do a lot, it's just nice to have things that bring a bit of joy into your life. So having different blankets that you can choose from is really nice. So if, you know, somebody who perhaps doesn't get out a lot and has to spend a lot of time in bed or on the sofa, a soft throw or blanket might be a really nice idea. There's so many different places you can get them from. Primark are really good for really soft blankets, but there's so many other places that you could look. Another idea, which is something that I love, is an electric blanket. So this one would be one that goes kind of under your sheets on your bed, and that you can kind of turn on when you go to bed to keep you warm. I have got an electric blanket on my bed and it gets so much use, especially at this time of year, because I'm always cold, and when I get into bed I just love turning it on and feeling all nice and warm and snuggly. So it might be something that somebody you know would really like. Obviously Obviously just double check that they are okay with heat and things like that, because some people heat will flare up their symptoms, so it's worth just checking that it's something that they might like. But if it's someone that gets cold and they really like heated stuff, an electric blanket is another really good idea. And then the last blanket themed gift idea is a weighted blanket. Now these can be fairly pricey, so obviously this depends on how much you're wanting to spend on a person, and again this is something that it's probably a good idea to kind of sound the person out before you buy it, because they're not for everybody. But a lot of people I know who have disabilities and chronic illnesses find a weighted blanket really helpful. Basically it is what it says on the tin, it's a blanket but it's weighted, so people who have like muscle spasms can find them quite helpful, who have chronic pain, things like that, but also people who have things like autism can also find them helpful. But again, like I said, it's really worth just talking to the person to make sure that it is something that they think that would be helpful, because it's quite a big investment and you need to make sure that it's actually something that's gonna be good for that person. But yeah, I've never tried a weighted blanket, so I can't kind of give much of an opinion on it. I just know from my friends that a lot of them find their weighted blanket invaluable. Something else that came up a lot when I asked my friends about their ideas was some new pyjamas. Myself and a lot of people that I know with chronic illnesses often spend a lot of time in their pyjamas, so we like to have a nice selection of different ones because we often wear them a lot more than our clothes. So if you know somebody who perhaps spends a lot of time in bed or on the sofa or isn't able to get out much, you might want to have a look at some new pyjamas for them, because honestly pyjamas are one of my favourite gifts. I have quite a lot of them and I absolutely love just having lots to choose from, because if you're spending a lot of time in them, it's nice to obviously change them up and to wear different ones, and a new pair of pyjamas just makes me feel really nice. So again, Primark's a brilliant place for pyjamas, but there's loads of places online as well. Supermarket pyjamas are also brilliant. Cath Kidston if you're wanting to get something that's a little bit more pricey, ASOS next, there's literally like tons of places that you could look. So yeah, have a look for some pyjamas if that's something you think somebody might like. Another thing that my friends suggested was something called a UU hot water bottle. Now it doesn't have to be this specific brand, but this was the one that kept coming up when I asked, and basically it is a long hot water bottle, so you can wear it, so you can kind of tie it around your back or kind of around your neck or diagonally, or you can just kind of cuddle it and it's nice and long. It's just another way to keep warm, but also if somebody has pain in certain places, then heat can be really good. And this one is obviously very good because it got a lot of recommendations from different people. It's not the cheapest of hot water bottles, although it's quite big, so you know, you kind of expect to pay more than you would for just a normal sized hot water bottle. And obviously with it being a hot water bottle, you have to fill it with hot water. I don't know whether they do something similar, or there's something similar out there that's perhaps like a Wheatie bag that you can heat up in the microwave. I mean, you can get smaller ones, because I've got one that kind of just goes around my neck, but this is like a really long one, and a lot of my chronically ill friends just said that they could not live without this hot water bottle. So I'll link it below if you want to check it out, and I think I might need to because it sounds brilliant. One of my friends also said that what they would find really helpful is a diffuser and some essential oils. Now this is going to vary a lot depending on whether the person you're buying for has got like sensitivities to smell and things like that, so it's really worth checking. But my friend that kind of brought this one up said that she found a diffuser really helpful. She likes to burn peppermint oil in it or diffuse peppermint oil in it, and she says it really helps with things like nausea and stomach issues, so it's worth looking into. I've got a diffuser, it's not a brilliant one, so I need to get a better one, but I really like diffusing different oils in it. I find that some of them help me feel more relaxed. Some of them, if I'm feeling anxious, they can kind of help with that. I haven't tried peppermint, and I think I will because I get a lot of nausea and stomach issues, so I'd be interested to see if that works. But you can get some really, really lovely diffusers. I think Neom does one and the White Company do one, and then you can get literally hundreds of different essential oils depending on what you need them for. So yeah, have a chat to the person you're buying for, see if it's something that they would benefit from, and also try to find out perhaps what sorts of essential oils that they would like, and then do a little bit of research on essential oils to see what might help their symptoms. The next item is something that I have seen Jem from Wheels No Heels talk about a lot, and it is the Fora wheelchair bags and cup holders. I think that's how you pronounce it, apologies if it's wrong. I think these are fairly expensive, but they do sound really good. So basically they're these like little bags that will attach to your wheelchair. I don't know whether they attach to power chairs or whether it's just manual chairs, but I think from memory you can go on their website and say which chair you've got, and they'll make sure that they send the right attachment. So yeah, you've got these nice little bags that can attach to the wheelchair, and also cup holders, which I think is such a good idea, because you know, if you're, I don't know, going from room to room and you want to transfer a drink from one room to the other, having a cup holder would be really useful. But also if you're out and about and you perhaps want to put a travel cup in there or something, then that's really useful as well. And they look nice as well. A lot of wheelchair accessories or disability accessories are boring. They are, you know, standard like grey horrible colours that you get from the NHS. But these are nice, you know, they don't look like wheelchair accessories, they just look like a fashionable bag or a fashionable cup holder, and I think that's really lovely. So I will pop the website below if you want to check them out. It's something that I keep kind of eyeing up, so it might be going on my Christmas list as well. While I was doing a little bit of research for this video, I came across a bag that had been designed by somebody called Sam Renke, and if you don't know her, I will link her Instagram and stuff below. She's an actress and campaigner for disability, and she's designed this bag which is on the Disability Horizons shop, and it looks like just a kind of standard handbag. It's really nice. It comes in lots of different colours, but she has designed it to be accessible. So for example, it's got like specific types of pockets for different things. It's got like a contrasting inside to make it helpful for people who've got perhaps visual disabilities. It has hooks so that you can put it onto the back of your wheelchair, and I was just reading about it and it sounded really good, and it's not something that I had ever heard of before, so I thought I'd include it because it's actually designed by somebody who has a disability, which I think is so important, because you get so many disabled adaptations and things like that which are made by non-disabled people, and quite often they just don't quite hit the mark because they don't know what disabled people need. So it's really great when disabled people are able to, you know, design different things, because you know that it's been designed and tested by a disabled person, so it's going to hopefully meet your needs. Something that I might be putting on my Christmas list this year is a new holder for my blue badge. So a blue badge, if you don't know, is like a disabled parking badge that you put in your car so that you can park in disabled spaces. And sometimes, well, I like to have it in a nice holder, so I've got one at the moment that kind of opens up, and then you put the badge in one side and then your timer in the other. But I've had mine for a few years now and it's literally falling apart, so I think if somebody you know has a blue badge, a holder for it might be really nice. You can get so many different designs and they're really pretty, and it's just something that's kind of useful but that looks nice as well, and it might be something that somebody you know might find really helpful. If you're looking to buy something for a child with a disability, I mean, obviously ask them what they want, because they'll probably have a list like any other child does, but there are some toys that are kind of made to look like they've got certain disabilities, so are kind of very diverse. And I think as a child with a disability, it would be really nice. I mean, I wasn't disabled as such as a child. I had my chronic condition, but it wasn't kind of showing itself. But I do think, like looking back, if I had been more disabled as a child, it would be really nice to have toys that represented me. You know, I'd want other toys as well, but I just think it's nice for children to see that kind of representation and feel like they are included in the toys as well. So I found a few different toys that might be good for that kind of situation. So to begin with, you can get Barbies which have a variety of different disabilities, whether they're kind of visual ones or not so visual ones. There's a Barbie that you can get that's got a wheelchair. I think there's Barbies that you can get that have skin differences. I think there's one with a prosthetic limb as well. Again, I'll try and find what I can to link below. But I think, you know, if I had been in a wheelchair as a child, I would have loved to have a disabled Barbie that was just like me. So there's that one. There's also Lego, who have taken quite a long time to include any kind of like disability representation in their toys, but there are now a couple of toys which have wheelchair users in them, which I think is brilliant. There's also the Orchard toys that make games and puzzles, and in a few of their puzzles they also represent people with disabilities. So I think there's like one that's like a road and it's got a boy in a wheelchair in it, and I think it's just nice for a disabled child to be doing a puzzle and to see somebody that looks like them in that puzzle. So yeah, there's those. And then there's also a website called Toy Like Me, and they have campaigned for a number of years to have better disability representation in toys, and they're doing amazing stuff. And on their website there are just so many different diverse toys that you can kind of look at, and it's got links to take you to them. So I will link that below because that's just got so many more than I can cover in this video. As well as toys, I also think diverse books are really nice to give to somebody. Again, you want to make sure that the kind of book you're giving them is suitable for that person, especially with adult diverse books. Some of them you might find can be quite triggering to certain people, so you kind of have to know that, I think, the person quite well to know what kind of books they might appreciate. But certainly with children's books, I think it's brilliant that there are starting to be more books that have children with disabilities in them. So have a look. I will try and link some below from what I can kind of find, but there's so many different ones that there's literally something for everybody. And I just think, again, if I had been more disabled as a child, that having books that I could see myself in would have made a huge difference. There's also some books that I've written down that are kind of standing out to me that I would really like to read. So we've got Break the Mould by Sinead Burke, Disability Visibility by Alice Wong. Bryony Gordon's books are really good for mental health. I've read Mad Girl, I think her first one was called, or one of them was called, and I could just relate to it on so many levels, and it was really nice to read somebody with a mental health actually writing about their story. So I'd really recommend that one, but I think she's written some other ones as well. There's a book called Sitting Pretty by Rebecca Tossig, I think. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And then there's also The Pretty One by Kia Brown, which also looks really good. So those will all be going on my Christmas list, and it might be something that you might want to give a disabled friend, or not a disabled friend, because, you know, non-disabled people should be reading these books as well. Another gift that I know I would find really useful is hand and foot warmers. You can get like these little portable ones. There's various different types. Some of them are reusable, some of them aren't. There's ones that you can put in your shoes that's like you put in the sole and it kind of warms your feet. You obviously need to make sure that that person is okay with having heat down there, whether they've got sensation or not. So again, make sure you check. But you can also get little warmers that you kind of click and it warms up, and then you can have it put in your hands. So if you're going out somewhere, you can keep your hands and feet warm, because I know for me, when I'm in my wheelchair, I just get absolutely freezing. So anything that would keep me warm would be great. So yeah, I will definitely be looking at investing in some of those. Another thing that's brilliant for keeping warm and dry when you're outside is a Bundlebean. You may have seen it in some of my videos. The one that I've got, it goes over my legs when I'm in my wheelchair, and it's navy with bright pink flamingos on it. They have a various different designs, and they also make them for adults and children. But I absolutely love my Bundlebean. They're not the cheapest of things, so it's a really nice gift to receive if you can give it to somebody. But I just would not be without mine, because it's waterproof. waterproof. It's got a nice like warm fleecy like lining inside, so it keeps me nice and warm. And yeah, when I'm in my wheelchair, as I said, you get soaking wet because you're sitting down if it rains, so you just get absolutely soaking wet legs. So the Bundlebean is fantastic and it keeps you warm and dry. What more could you want? So as well as the portable foot warmers, you can also get ones that you plug in, which I have been eyeing up for years and I don't know why I haven't got one yet. It just looks like this like big, like, I don't know, like double slipper foot muff kind of thing, and you plug it in and then pop your feet in and it just warms your feet up. And I think that would make a lovely gift for anybody who suffers from cold feet a lot. I kind of keep thinking I ought to get one for my mum, because my mum always complains about having cold feet, and then I could kind of steal it as well. But yeah, it's definitely a gift that I would find really helpful, and I'm guessing probably quite a lot of other people with chronic illnesses or disabilities would find helpful as well. If you're looking to spend a little bit more, then something that I know me and a lot of other disabled and chronically ill people would find helpful is a slow cooker or something similar to that. We got one recently and it just makes life so much easier. You can just chop up all your ingredients, put them in and leave it, and then you've got a meal like a few hours later. And for somebody that has limited energy and who struggles to kind of stand over a stove and cook and things like that, I know that for me, if I was living on my own and I didn't have my parents' help, a slow cooker would just be a lifesaver. So again, it's worth checking, you know, if it's something that somebody you know would use. But I know for myself and a lot of other people, a slow cooker is the biggest lifesaver. Another thing that came up when I asked around friends for ideas for this was some sort of massage tool. The friend that actually suggested this is a manual wheelchair user, and she said that she finds that she gets a lot of like knots and pain in sort of her arms and shoulders and back, and that she finds having some sort of massager really helpful because it's a lot cheaper than having to pay to go for massages all the time, and obviously at the moment you can't necessarily always go for massages. There's so many different ones out there. You can get the ones that are like a full chair that can do massage. You can get ones that are like a kind of long thing that you put around your neck or your back. I prefer stuff like that. I have had ones in the past that you kind of have to hold and then massage, and for me they just don't work because I don't have the strength to be doing that and it's not relaxing at all. So I much prefer the ones that you can just kind of put on you or sit up against and then they will do their thing. And again, the price varies depending on what you're going to get. The kind of chair ones can be quite expensive, but I think that would make a brilliant gift for somebody with a disability. Chronic illness possibly as well. It depends what that chronic illness is and whether that person likes massage and things like that. But again, just ask them and see if it's something that they would like. So the next thing that I wanted to share with you isn't specifically disability or chronic illness related, although the company is owned and has been set up by somebody who's got a chronic illness, and I just wanted to showcase it basically. So it is a company called Bear Hugs, and it was set up by my friend Faye, who has different chronic illnesses, and she set it up with the help of the Prince's Trust, and it's just the most amazing brand. She has done incredibly with what she's achieved so far in the last few years. Basically, they do these little hug boxes. They do them in different sizes. This was just the one that I happened to have. And inside, so you open it up and it looks like a little bear hugging, which is quite cute. It's all really nicely packed with sort of tissue paper. I don't want it to all fall out, but you can get literally all sorts of things. So this one has got some bath salts, some lip balm, little notebooks and a coaster, and it's all nicely packed in there. But they've just got so many things. They've got sort of foodie items, they've got things for men, they've got like baby sort of and kid things, they've got colouring stuff. So many different things you can get there. Some of them, they've got boxes that are kind of like made up already, so they're like for a specific type of person or for a specific event, but you can also, I think, make your own box up as well. So if you kind of want to choose what you would want to put in there, you can do that as well. And I just think this would be a nice gift for anybody, to be honest. But if you're looking for a gift for somebody with a chronic illness or disability, I just think it's nice to support a business run by somebody with a chronic illness. And also, I mean, who doesn't want a little bear hug coming in the post for them? So yeah, please do check them out, because they're a brilliant brand, and I'd love people to support it. Another website that has some really great things that would be worth looking at is a website called Spiffy. I've bought from them a few times, and they just have so many nice things. I think their main kind of focus is kind of like mental health and well-being, but they have so many lovely things on there. They've got like pin badges, they've got little books, little like cards that have got inspirational quotes on them. There's so much nice stuff on there. So if you're really stuck for a gift idea for somebody and you just don't know what to get them, have a look on there, because I always find something that I like and that I know somebody else will like. And then another brand that I just wanted to mention as well, which is run by somebody with a chronic illness, is a brand called This Thing They Call Recovery. It started off as an Instagram page, and then she has now opened a shop that has got t-shirts and prints in it. And I actually got one of her t-shirts for my birthday, and this is the one. You may have seen me show it before, but it says, "Everything hurts and I feel like death." And she just has stuff like this that just summarises chronic illness to a T. And again, I just think it's really nice to support a disabled owned business, and obviously you kind of need to know what the person's humour is that you're getting stuff for, but I know a lot of my friends absolutely love the prints and t-shirts that this person does. They just make us laugh, because as I said, you can just put that t-shirt on and you don't have to say anything to anybody. You just point to the t-shirt and say, "This is how I'm feeling today." So yeah, do check her out as well, because she's got some brilliant stuff on her website. So I've just got a couple more ideas to share with you for presents for somebody with a disability or chronic illness. And the first would be a subscription to something like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Apple TV, whatever else there is. Basically, I know for me, if I'm spending a lot of time in the house, I'm perhaps not able to get out and do much. I do spend quite a lot of time watching things on Netflix and Disney Plus, and if somebody hasn't got a subscription, it might just be a really nice thing to do for them, especially at the moment when people are having to shield a lot. They might not be going out as much as they usually would, and it's just nice to have that choice of things to watch. So obviously you would need to find out if they already had a subscription, but if they haven't and you want to buy them something that's going to be really useful, I would definitely recommend a subscription to one of those TV things. Another subscription idea that I think would be really nice for somebody with a chronic illness or disability, or who doesn't have one of those, is a subscription to The Happy Newspaper by Emily Coxhead. I absolutely love following Emily. I follow her on Instagram, and she posts so many lovely illustrations and things like that, but also just so many good news stories. And I think, to be honest, all of us just need some good news at the moment. So it's definitely something I would recommend. She does a happy newspaper. I can't remember how often it comes out, but basically it's a newspaper full of happy news, good news. And I know certainly when you're chronically ill or disabled, sometimes it's just hard to kind of look past all of the negativity, the difficulties that you're going through. And so having that happy newspaper to read on a regular basis, I just think would be lovely. It's something that I would love to receive, and so I thought I'd include it in this video. And then the last thing that I wanted to include was vouchers. And I don't necessarily mean vouchers, you know, for Amazon or for Primark or something like that, although if you want to include those, that's fine. What I'm kind of talking more about is vouchers for things. So for example, a voucher for looking after somebody's children, or for cooking them a meal, or for a video call. Various different things that are kind of more like gifts of your time, because I know for me, I find it really difficult to ask for help, and sometimes I really could do with having some help. I could do with having, I don't know, like if my mum and dad are away, I could do with having some help cooking a meal, or I could do with having somebody help me to get out somewhere. But but it is really hard to ask for that help. So it's really nice sometimes, I think, to have that kind of promise from somebody that's like, when you need me to do this, give me this voucher and I will do it for you. And you can be really creative. You can find out from that person what sort of things that they might need help with. And I just think sometimes it's nicer to do something like that and give your time than it is to give a physical gift. So I just wanted to include that because it's something that's a little bit different, but that I think would be really appreciated. So that is all of my ideas for this gift guide for people with disabilities and chronic illnesses. And I just want to reiterate that the best thing to do for somebody with a chronic illness or disability, if you're trying to think of a gift for them, is to ask them. Ask them if they've got a list, ask them if there's something that would be helpful. You know, that's the best place to start. But hopefully this guide will help you if you're still struggling with ideas. I hope you've enjoyed it and that you would like to see more videos from me. If you would, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Also hit the notification bell. That means you'll get notified every time I upload a video so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you would find any of the things that I've talked about helpful, or if you can think of any other good gifts that you would find helpful. Do share them, because I think that would be really great to kind of give people even more ideas. Also let me know if there's any other videos you'd like to see me film. It's always great to hear what you want to see because it gives me lots of ideas of things that I can film. Come and follow me on social media. My links are in the description below, but I will put my Instagram and Twitter up here. Those are the two platforms that I'm mainly on, so please do come over and say hello. It would be lovely to talk to you, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!